channel. My name is Emma and today I'm going to be doing the Briggs Book Tag. The Briggs Book Tag was created by Jade over at JadedReader, and I'll leave her channel and all of the questions that she created for it down below because each one is curated to your results of the Myers-Briggs personality test. You can take a bunch of them online. I'll leave a link to one of the free ones down in the description box below. And it is a quick, about 10-minute type quiz that will give you your personality type. It assigns letters, which are different traits, to create your own little acronym. So mine, for example, is INFJ, which is considered to be the counselor type personality. Each question that I'm going to be answering is based off of those 4 letters, INFJ, and then the final personality, the counselor, at the end. So there are 5 questions total, but you can create your own based on your results of the personality test. So let's just go right ahead and dive right in. So the first letter in my acronym is I, which stands for introvert, and the question for I is, you can be outgoing but need to recharge with some calming solitude. Where is your favorite place to read and unwind, and why is this little oasis where you choose to go? So I've mentioned before on my channel that I love to read at my cottage, which is probably the perfect description of an oasis. There's no internet, there's no TV, there's no distraction really of any kind, so that's great, but I'm only ever there a couple weeks during the year. So for the rest of the time, the best place that I like to read is also the most hazardous place that I like to read, and that is in the bathtub. In the bathtub, I can completely recharge. I can add a bath bomb and some Epsom salts and some oils to make the water nice and soothing. I can bring in a cup of tea and some water to keep myself going, and also I can completely cut myself off from the rest of the world. Listen to some music, watch some booktube, or just sit there and read. I absolutely love it. I get so relaxed when I'm in the tub. It's just so calming and so chill, and I just love it so much. My original copy of Harry Potter is like almost completely destroyed because of the amount of water damage from me dropping it when I was like 13 in the bathtub. It's been blow-dried dry so many times, and I did that so many times with like Archie comics when I was little. Like it's just a thing. I oftentimes am in there for so long that I have to like drain out the tub and refill it with hot water because it's gone cold, but I just don't want to get out. But yeah, that's probably my favorite little place to go and read. The next letter in my acronym is N, which stands for intuition, and the question for N is, some books are meant to be understood and others are meant to be explored. What book or character stands for an idea that is deeply meaningful to you? And my answer to this question is probably pretty easy, but I'm going to go for a book, and that is Harry Potter, the entire series. I chose Harry Potter for this question because this series embodies everything really that I am really passionate about. It is a story about family, it's a story about friendship, it's a story about standing up for what you believe in and doing the right thing, and also, and probably most importantly for me, it's a story about believing in impossible things and believing in magic. I don't know, family, friendship, Harry has to go through so many hardships in his life, but he learns to appreciate the family that he has, as well as create a new family, which I think is really important. Family isn't always about who you're related to, it is about the people that you choose to spend your time with, and the people that are kind to you, and the people that respect you, and the people that you want to be around as much as possible. The people that make you happy. And Harry has found that in all of his friends and with everybody that he meets in his story. He makes such great friends, and there's so many great friendships in this story that aren't romantic or aren't like frenemies that are really horrible to each other but then like go back on it and become friends. Like it's just such true friendship in this story that I love it. He doesn't let this world get ruined by bigotry and evil, and he does everything in his power to stop it and do the right thing, and I think that is the most dear to my heart idea that I can think of. And then finally, it really does bring the message of believing in impossible things and believing in magic, which I think is so important. I think books and reading and imagination and creativity and art are such great forms of magic that we have in our world, and I think they need to be given the respect and the love that they deserve. The next letter in my acronym is F, which stands for feeling, and the question for feeling is, And the question for feeling is, not everything needs to be realistic. Where is the fun in a world with limits? Which fantasy world do you find so atmospheric that you slip inside and never want to leave? I could have so many answers to this question, as you can see from my bookcase, and if you know me at all, fantasy is 99.9% of what I read. And for exactly that reason, I love slipping into another world and just getting completely lost in it and learning about its intricacies, its history, its mythology, if there is any, and just how each individual world works. I think the human mind is incredible for being, and like the imagination that comes from humanity is incredible to be able to create such complex and intricate and beautiful worlds out of nothing. But I think one of the ones that really got me going, this book literally kept me up at night. I haven't had that happen to me probably ever, actually. I was halfway through and I had to go to bed because I worked the next day, and I literally woke up. First of all, I was dreaming about it. Second of all, it woke me up because I had to know what was happening, which hasn't happened to me in so long. I think this author is great at creating new worlds. I think she knows what she's doing. I think her world building is fantastic. I think her magic system is fantastic. And that author is Sarah J. Maas. I love both of her Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses series. They're probably my favorites right now. I really love them. I know that there are some bits that people really don't enjoy, and I can understand why, but I really, really love these series. I think the relationships in them are realistic, but also like healthier than a lot of other relationships that I can see. Anyway, the world that I really want to go into is very specific. It is in a court of mist and fury, and that world is the city of Valeris, aka the city of starlight. This is my favorite setting, I think, in this fantasy world. I love the idea of a little isolated and protected city that just inside the night court that just revolves around starlight and is just the most community driven and like inclusive and just like calm. I don't know, it seems like such a happy place, and I love stars, I love the moon, I love the night sky, I love the night court in general, but I think this city is such a great moniker for the night court, as opposed to the court of nightmares that most people in this world consider to be all of the night court. I think it's a great representation of what the night court is and what the people and of the night court really stand for. And I just love it. It is so beautiful, and I just want it to be real, and I want to go, and I want to love it so much. And yeah. The next letter in my acronym is J for judging, and the question that comes with it is, all play and no work leads to chaotic disorder and anarchy. How do you structure and balance your reading, booktube, and personal life to better use your time? And my answer for that question is planning. I am obsessed with planners of all kinds. I've got a calendar, a hand planner, and a desk planner all over on that desk right there. I use my calendar on my computer, I use my calendar on my phone, and I think scheduling is a very important part. Before this year, I didn't balance reading and school and my blog that I had at the time. I just didn't. Between that and work, it didn't happen. I didn't read. I only did schoolwork. And I only did schoolwork in my spare time and then went to work when I was scheduled to go. But I think this year I've gotten into quite a bit of a good rhythm. What I do is I get my work schedule and I write it into my planners, and then I go and I write out whenever I have any classes. For me, I make it a point to have at least one day off during the school week. So that is, for me, Mondays, because I work on the weekends and I work on the evenings during school. So I want to take at least one day to just have to myself to recharge if I need to. Going back to that introvert thing, it's very necessary. But for me, I try to schedule in the time that I'm going to do homework as well as the time that I'm going to be in class. I try to get it done as much as possible during the mornings and get my readings and responses and essays and stuff done before I go to class or before I go to work, just so that I don't have to stay up late dealing with it. I schedule in time for me to do my booktube. So for me, it is Mondays and Fridays because they're my least busy days. So Mondays I have off, like I said, and Fridays I only have an hour and a half of class in the morning. So I try and get all my filming, editing, and uploading done during that time so that I don't have to worry about it the rest of the time that I'm focused on schoolwork. I try to limit my schoolwork as much as possible to during the week and get as much of it done as I can, so that my weekends, when I'm done work, can just be personal. So far it's working. We're just at the end of reading week, so we're about just over halfway through the semester, and I haven't run into any issues yet. I've missed a couple of upload days, but I've managed to get them done the next day, so I'm not too worried about that. I've still managed to upload 2 times a week, which was my goal, and I've been managing to read quite a bit. I read 4 books last month, and I'm already through a book and a half, almost 2 books so far this month. And I'm trying to just read at least 1 book a week, so 4 a month on average, and so far I'm reaching that goal, and it's going really well. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm keeping myself busy, which is doing wonders for my anxiety and for my personal sanity, and also I'm managing to get a lot done, which is very important to me, this being my last year of school. I really want to make it count, and I really want to make it like the best year that I can, and I'm really proud of myself. It's going very well, and I credit all of that to my planning. That is definitely the way that I'm managing to balance everything out. Finally, I am an INFJ, which is considered to be the counselor in all of the different 16 personality types. And for the counselor, the question is, yes, we're a bit odd, but also filled with intuition and empathy. What is a book you would recommend to a friend having a hard time? So this question is a little difficult for me because I always just recommend Harry Potter, and I need to find something different. But I also read a lot of really dark and really intense fantasy. I don't really read very many light and fluffy books, or many contemporary books that would typically make somebody happy. Books that I read typically make me kind of sad and also make me kind of angry, but in a good way, I guess. For me, it works well. So this book is a little bit different. It's actually just really any book written by this author, but specifically the book that I would recommend to somebody who's having a hard time is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I picked the Percy Jackson series just because it is a quick read, it is a fun read, and it is just so happy. It's so funny, it's so light. I just think the Percy Jackson series is the perfect read for somebody having a hard time, because I always feel better after I read a Rick Riordan book. I personally love mythology, but I think anybody, even if you don't have much knowledge about it, would enjoy these books. They're funny, they're entertaining, they've got great friendships and great storylines and great relationships, and just are so good. They're very quick reads, and I think it helps to read a book that's quite quick if you're having a hard time, because you don't want to sit there trudging through a book that you're not quite enjoying, whereas this is just so fun-filled and so action-packed that you just completely lose yourself in it and are just having such a good time when you're reading it that it kind of blocks out everything else that's happening in your life. I think for somebody having a hard time, having a chance to go and just read something super quick and super fun and lighthearted and funny is a great escape to have, even if it is for just a short while, and it would help recharge and help set your mood back so that you can take on the rest of your day and the rest of whatever is bothering you. But yeah, I think this book is perfect. Any of the books by Rick Riordan, so either the Percy Jackson, Magnus Chase, Kane Chronicles, any of these books are just so fun, and I love them all to bits. I tag anybody that wants to do this, but I also specifically tag some new BookTube friends that I've made. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please like this video and share it with your friends if you did enjoy, and comment below telling me your personality type. Please subscribe if you did enjoy. I make new videos every Monday and Friday, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.